Okay, ultimately, people are going to undervalue you. People are going to underestimate you. And this could be an advantage at the beginning. This could be very frustrating in the beginning. But it's important to understand that if you build enough value, that's what I'm obsessed with right now. We'll get into that. If you build enough value that they can't deny you. In fact, that they need you. In fact, that it's a great feeling when people don't like you, but they need you. They say, man, I'm not a fan of his, but he's just so damn good. That's a great feeling. That's an inherent value they can't take away, because whether or not someone likes you comes and goes based on their mood, based on their experiences in life. And you'll see a lot of fickle people come and go, turn against you. You know, 2 of Jesus' apostles turned against him, at least. Now, that's another story. So becoming valuable, that's so important to me. That's something I'm obsessing with right now. I love whiteboards, so I'm going to get a big whiteboard. You can get them at Lowe's, you can cut them up, or you can pay it more expensive for just a basic framed one. You could get one that's, you could laminate a big piece of white paper, write it on your wall with Sharpie, for all that matters. Whatever it takes, get a list of things that you know you can improve in yourself. You know you can improve in your life. And I'm talking income. I'm talking a lot of the other things that might take time. But there's a list of 100 things you could come up with that I'm going to be coming up with for myself. Things that you're insecure about, things that you can work on immediately, things like a chore list, even like chores, stuff that you need to. These things indirectly make you more valuable, because if all of this is taken care of and I handle it right away, it doesn't weigh on you. Remember that. There's things that are weighing on you that you need to get out of the way that might seem not even related to your ultimate big goal. But these small things, these relationships, these things that you're not handling head on, things that you're not, conflict that you're avoiding, certain pain points. It's always pain points. And people don't avoid pleasure. People are avoiding pain points, which is where the big growth is at. Avoiding conversation, avoiding pain points that will clear things up in the future. And they're no longer weighing on you, where you feel it like, do I bring it up now? Do I bring it up later? No, I don't want to go through that right now. You know what I'm talking about. This is a standard human thing. So a chore list, things that, a whole checklist of things that improve you, whether in the short term or the long term. It could be of any magnitude. Whereas personally, I want to use this teeth whitening kit I have. If my teeth are never white enough, you would compare yourself to the movie stars and your teeth are never white enough. Your teeth are never straight enough. And whether or not that's something I can handle in the near term, or if it's going to be a long-term thing, there are things I can do to improve that right now. So I'm going to have that on the list. There's a certain area in my establishment that needs to get clean, but it's like a hassle, right? It's a pain point, something I don't want to handle right now, but it's going to go on the list. And it doesn't matter. Every day I'm going to look at this list and say, it doesn't matter which one I pick. If it's the smallest thing on the list, they're all going to be treated as equals. The smallest thing or the biggest thing on the list. Handle something. Improve something. So that you're guaranteed you have improved something. You guaranteed you are better tomorrow than you were today. So that's what creates value. That's what makes you more valuable, is that you're always doing something to get better. You're always working on you. And there's days, just like when it's your fitness, that's a long-term thing. You can get a lot of results in the short term, but it's a lifestyle, so we're going to be doing this till we die. We're going to be working and sharpening the sword and, always trying to find new ways of being better and stronger and faster. And you might get caught up in the monotony of it, and it's important because that has to take place. You have to have a routine. You have to have that thing of, okay, I'm plateauing now. That's when you wake up and say, okay, now I got to do not different. I got to do better. I got to do more. I got to push myself. So every day is going to be something to improve. As many things on that checklist as you can get done are better. And a lot of those things, one of the two of the things I mentioned already on my list, those will repeat every single day. Those are something that won't take off the list. It'll be a daily requirement, a daily quota. Checking things off of this list, that's what it's all about. Is for sure 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 things today. Those all got me better. Let's go. Let's get better. Let's get more valuable. Let's light a fire, okay? It's important to know that a day passed. You can't control that. That's a blessing that you were able to go through another day in life. But I do know that it wasn't in vain. I know that I didn't waste a second of it. I at least got better. I at least improved. You lost a day of your life. Let's all agree, life is not unlimited, right? we can all agree that there is a specific day and time when you expire. And I think, fortunately, we don't know what day that is. But we do know there's a day. It's not unlimited. So the day that you just lost today, whether it was a good or bad day, is a blessing. And it was one of your last limited days, whether it's 1,000,000 days left or you got 500 days left. It's one of those. It's a limited number. It's a finite number. It's something you can literally check off and see winding down. Let's counteract that with getting more valuable. Let's counteract that with fighting against the status quo. Let's counteract that with being unique individuals and powerful and valuable. That's what it's all about. Feeling like you have a purpose in life, and that's where value comes in, is because, unfortunately, when you got a purpose in life, you have to convince people that you have a purpose in life, especially if your purpose is helping others. There's a weird thing where you got to convince people you can help them, and you have to convince them that they need help. It's not always easy. Helping people ain't always easy. You would think people are more than happy to get helped, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people that need the help, want the help, but they don't want the help. Does that make sense? You know what I mean if you're experiencing it personally. But let's be more valuable. Let's create a checklist. Let's go throughout our day, always getting better at something. Always, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Whenever I ask a member or a client, how's your diet? How's it looking? If a client tells me their diet's perfect, I'm immediately upset about that, whether I express it or not. That's not a real thing. But if a client says, it's been bad, but I'm getting better. It's getting better, or I'm trying. Those are the key words I want to hear. I'm trying. I'm getting better. I'm working on it. I want to see you in the trenches working on it. I want to see you struggling and fighting and pushing yourself. That's the spice of life. There's no perfection. Stop fooling yourself. The only deadline is the dead time, is when you expire. That's the only time when it all stops and it all drops. Every day's got to be part of the journey. And the journey isn't, perfect. There's no more journey. You're done. You're there. Is this as good as it gets? If your diet's perfect and you're still 300 pounds overweight, who are we fooling? I don't ever want to be perfect. I want to strive for that, knowing that I'll never get there. Perfect is a direction I want to shoot myself in. It's not a destination where I've arrived. There's people that have your dream body. When you get to that place, you're not going to just be done with your goals. Like, you'll have a new goal. There's always more. There's always a new perfect for you. So let's keep pushing. Let's keep getting more valuable. Let's keep improving ourselves. That's what it's all about. Whether it's a small thing, or whether it's like, I want to tan today. You find that as a personal improvement, then you've accomplished something. But try to get as many of those things done as possible, but don't stress knowing that at least you've got 1, 2, 3 things done. You've got a list of 1,000 things, but I want to see it, Nick, myself. I want to see it on that list every day that you have been doing something. That's something tangible, at least on the list I can look at and say, sure, two sides of the story. There's a lot more on that list that I didn't do, but there are things I did do. So yes, it's a small win in a finite amount of days that you have left on this planet. It's a small win, and that's what it's all about. I got my workout in. I got 2-3 workouts in. Whether or not they were some transformative, life-changing workout, that's not really how it works. Or it was a day you didn't feel like it and you grinded it out and you were really hustling, or you just sat on the bike for 15 minutes. You just know that you could have not done that. And there are a lot of people that did not do that. And know that everything adds up. Just like that big list, small or big task, everything adds up. Put in the effort. Put in an intense effort, but put in a frequent effort. Do as many different things. Do as many different workouts as you can, if that makes sense. If just, live life to its fullest. When people say living their best life and they're talking about drinking at some Vegas club, well, you paid for a $19 one shot, and you're actually kind of living backwards. You're not really improving anything in life. Just because you had fun in the moment, I don't consider that living your best life, and neither will you in 10 years. You're not going to look back and say, oh, that was me living my fullest. That was not me living my best life. See, a lot of people are fooling themselves because they're young, because they're attractive. It's because their metabolism will allow them to snap back, or because God gave them good curves, but they can be 40% body fat. It's important to know that you're not actually winning. You're fooling yourself. But you're not fooling the winners. That's the thing. You're only fooling losers. It's like the guy who is paying, $1,200 a month for his little BMW 6 payment. It's a nice car. Great job. You're fooling everyone who can't afford that car. But the people who can afford that car and they know, I have business assets I got to pay for. I have so many other things I can pay for. And I have a ton of money left over at the end of the month because I'm not spending money on a stupid car. The people who you want to impress, you won't impress them. This is something I got from Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks about that a lot. He's like, you're only fooling the losers. It's when you fake it till you make it. I believe that. But those people that are like Instagram, like killing it, and it seems like it's all they're doing well. I see you wasting money on all these things. I see you not doing anything that builds for tomorrow. I want to see you being broke. I know people like this. I don't know people like this. I've experienced this. I know being broke, but you're spending all your money on an asset that you can cultivate and it's going to pay you off and you're going to retire with it and putting all your money into something that pays you back in 5, 10, 15 years. You're building, you're grinding, and you're giving up those stunting on them. You didn't buy the Escalade. You didn't go out and lease that brand new car and max out your credit. You stayed conservative because the time for you to win is later, not now. We're going to use our young years to hustle and to improve our value and to get better and get better and get better. And yeah, that requires usually staying underneath the radar, but that's the price we're willing to pay. That's like people who are willing to go through that and give up the things that they could do that will impress other people. You got to understand the only people you're impressing are other losers. Now, you don't want to be a loser forever, or you don't want to be at the bottom forever. You don't want to have a small income forever. You got to keep your head down. That's why they call it hustling. And it ain't living your best life, throwing it away. Because if you only live once, people remember that came out, YOLO, you only live once, in honor of Drake's new album, YOLO, you only live once. That came out and people said, let's party, let's kill it. You're only living once. You're only young once. That kind of thing, let's throw it all away. Let's live like there's no tomorrow, that kind of thing. But when I heard YOLO, I thought, you only live once, so don't waste it. That's what came to my mind. And other people, I guess, had I know it still has that connotation of you only live once, so fuck it, do it. Don't worry about the consequences, do all this. There's two different people. There's the other person that hears you only live once. I got to make the most of this. I got to help the most amount of people possible. I got to go all out. I got to see what I'm truly capable of. I got to invest in myself today so that my family, my friends, the people I'm helping in 10 years from now are benefiting from my hustle today, from my sacrifice today, from my giving up, not going to them Vegas parties and whatnot. I sacrificed all that. I sacrificed my young years today, and the goal is to have that pat on the back later. The goal is to be like, yeah, you only live once, and I made the most of it because there's some judgment at the end of all this, That's the tricky part. That's the part that'll get me going. Let's stop it there. Let's be valuable, you guys. Let's keep building something, build ourselves, build our mentalities. In the very least, work on your fitness. That's such a base level of keeping this one finite thing that we have, our bodies, our lives, our souls, healthy and vibrant, so that any other thing you do, you're not everybody's some fitness coach or a fitness athlete or someone on Instagram, but an executive knows the value of staying healthy and fit, and optimal performers know this. The people that you idolize in certain TV shows, Billions and whatnot, Power, all these shows, they're staying fit, they're staying super vibrant, making sure their body is running and on all cylinders, not because they're fitness people, but because they're an elite banker or they're an elite in their field, and they know that the one thing that can take care of you is you. Health is wealth. People know this. So quit fooling yourself, and if you only live once, let's live it like it matters. Let's live it like we have value to build and to give and to bring to the world, and let's do that.